So now we are going to talk about the last two elements of the macro definition that we didn't discuss. So we spoke about, you put your macro name, you put your definition, you put your argument, but we didn't discuss the validation expression and the validation error code. So how are those useful? Sometimes you want to be able to tell the user of the macro if they are doing something wrong. For example, we know that all error codes in our macro, if you want to put them, they have to be 3 digits. You are not going to see an error code that is 1 digit or 2 digit or 4 digits and so on. You know that they are always going to be 3 digits, and it always has to be a number. So when you are going to be passing your arguments in, you pass the region, and then maybe you pass the error code as a 7 spelled out SEVA. It's not going to work because that. So if you don't really have any validation expression and an error message, you may not really know that you are doing something wrong. That is why we have to make these definitions here. For those kind of argument values that have to be very specific, we can actually define validation expressions for them. In this specific case, we are saying that the error code must be a number. That is why we are using this function here is num error code. So we are passing the error code here because it's actually an argument, so we put it in $signs again, and then we are saying that the length of the error code has to be 3. So that is our validation expression, which means that ultimately when we are executing that macro, if we pass an error code that doesn't satisfy this criteria, then it's going to generate an error to tell us that we are doing something wrong. And this is the error message that we want to send out. We want to send an error message out which says that the error code value must be a 3-digit integer. It should be digit, not digits, but we're going to fix that when we are doing the demonstration. So if you go ahead and pass in maybe an error code that has 2 digits, it's going to generate this for you. Or you pass an error code that is not an integer, it's going to generate this error for you so that you know that you are doing something wrong. Then you have the opportunity in order to go ahead and fix that error code before you run your macro. So let's now take a few examples here to see how the validating macro arguments work. So the first one here, you call the macro that we defined before, macro with arguments. You pass your region value as southeast, which is good. And then when you go to pass the error code, you pass it as 50. Now in our validation expression, we said that the error code has to be an integer. This satisfies it because 50 is an integer, but we said that it also has to be 3 digits long. This one is 2 digits, so it doesn't work. It means therefore that what we are passing for the error code doesn't really satisfy the validation expression that we had in our definition, which means therefore that we're going to have the validation error message that we put there, which says the error code value must be 3 digits integer. Here we are having a 2 digits integer, so it really doesn't work. The second one here, we can call that macro again, and then we go and put 5. This is not going to work because the error code has to be a number. Remember, we said it's num. When we were actually doing the validation expression, we say it has to be a number. This is not a number, so it's not going to work. So if you go down here again, you see that it's going to give you the validation error message that we defined there, which says the error code value must be a 3 digits integer. So these are some of the things that you define so that if you are making some mistakes while you are trying to call that macro, then these kind of errors are going to make you to understand exactly how you have to include or what values you have to include for your arguments. Okay, so in our demonstration here, we are back to our event gen source type. We're going to go to the previous macro that we defined for count % errors with 3 arguments. We'll configure a validation expression to only allow error codes that are 3-digit integers. We're going to use this expression below, and then we configure the validation error message with the text the error code must be a 3-digit integer, and then we're going to run the macro providing values of error code that are not 3-digit integers and verify that the configured error message is being generated. Okay, so here we are back to our instance of Splunk, and the first thing that we're going to do here, I'm just going to first of all try to just execute the macro that we had, source type because event gen. Then I'm going to go here, put my backtick. I'm just going to go count % errors. And then I'm going to say, let's use the region as northeast. And then let's say that we want to look for 503 errors. And then we want to break it down by state. Okay, we close the backtick and run it. For last 24 hours, this is what it's going to give us. Let's see. Okay. Our results are coming through now. So this is what we have. The results are coming through. You see that it's going for the Northeast, then it's breaking it down by state, and then it's doing count and percentage of 503 errors. And we can go here. We've been seeing that you can decide to say, I only want to search for cases where total 503 errors, this field here basically. I only want to search for cases where total 503 errors greater than or equal to 10. So only for states where the total 503 errors in the last 24 hours is greater than 10. So anything that's less than 10 is not going to show here. Okay, so this is an example. This is an execution that works, which we've already seen before. Now, we want to go ahead and configure a validation expression for this. So that if we go here, for example, now and just put 50, you see what happens. It's not generating anything for us, but we don't really know what's happening. You could say, like, is there an error code like 50? Oh, we don't know. Well, we just ran with 50 there. It's not giving us anything. We go here and then we put 5 and then we run it. Well, it's not generating any errors, but it's just not giving us any results. What is actually going on? So that is what we're going to try to fix here now. So I'm just going to go to this tab here, and then I'm going to go back to the macro definition. And then now the validation expression here is what we're going to put first. So we are going to say that our error code value, we always want it to be a number. So it's num error code, and the length of the error code has to be 3, which means that the error code always has to be 3 digits and it has to be a number. And if it is anything other than that, then provide this error message so that you that is running it, you're not just going to see blank results, but you're also actually going to see something that tells you that you are making an error, which is going to say the error code must be a 3-digit integer. So if we do this now and save it, it means we have added a validation expression and also a validation error message to the definition of that macro. Now, if we go back here and say we want to execute it now, we go back, put say 480 here. This is perfectly fine. Our expectation is that this should work, not that this has to be now 480. This is perfectly fine. It should work because this is an integer and it's 3 digits. So you see that it's giving us results. Now it's taking too long. So let me go and just do it in the last 60 minutes. Okay. So I'm looking at 480 errors in the last 60 minutes. Only 2 of them are actually greater than 10 here. So, you know what? Let me just take this out so that we don't have these partial results. Okay, so we have this. Now, I go ahead and say that I put 50 here. So you see that before, it was not giving me any it was giving me blank results. But now it's actually telling me that I'm making an error. So it says that the error code must be a 3-digit integer, which is what we configured there. So if I come here and just say that this is 7, or let's say 5, as we said. You see, it's not an integer, so it's going to tell me the same thing. The error code must be a 3-digit integer. So it actually tells you that so that you know what kind of value that you have to include for the error code. So you come here now and put your 503, which is a valid error code. You see that it starts working again. And then you come put your 404, which is a valid error code. You see that it's working again. So that's just how you can configure a validation message, a validation expression and an associated validation message that can show you if you're actually making any errors in your macro execution.